With only a fortnight to go until the big photo shoot, Dave is taking a team of firefighters to visit some of the calendar's charity partners. This is a chance for the guys to see firsthand where their hard-earned donations go. Their first stop is the Children's Hospital's burns unit.
Right guys, this is what it's all about today. We're going to do a walk through the wards. You're going to see some pretty tough kids in some pretty tough conditions, but this is where the money goes to.
Though the firefighters' donations and visits to the burns unit are a great help, it's the tireless work of the hospital's dedicated staff that makes the life-changing work at the Children's Hospital possible. And the man at the centre of it all is the Professor of Paediatric Surgery, Dr. Roy Kimball.
Well, this is the major burn centre for Queensland. So we'll treat any child with a burn under the age of 16. Last year we treated just a little bit more than 900 kids with new burns. Most of our most severe burns are due to flammable liquids.
We were having a drum fire, burning off a bit of rubbish down the back. Caleb's decided to go down, picked up a milk bottle on his way, not realising it's had petrol in the milk bottle. Yeah. So he's taken the lid off, gone to put the petrol in, and it's just come back up. And we flew down here and we were here for the next 3 months.
With Professor Roy and his team, how have they helped with Caleb?
Well, to date, Dr. Kimball's probably done 30 operations on Caleb, about 55 hours of surgery.
Burns has turned into a very sophisticated field now, where we use a lot of technology to not only assess the burn, but also treat the burns. Without the firefighters and their calendars, it would just be too much of an effort, because we're not scientists working in isolation in an institute somewhere. We're actually doing research within the unit.
Charlie was running around being a kid and he pulled a deep fryer off the counter. And so he was brought straight up here in September and we were here for 39 days.
And what sort of treatments has he been undergoing here at the hospital?
So originally it was a lot of dressing changes, debridement, and he's had skin grafting. Lots of compression suits, lots of moisturising. He wears a suit pretty much 24/7. We have an occupational therapist, a physio. They come in, they do playtime with him. They try and make it more joyful experience for him because he doesn't understand what's going on. He just sees people coming at him. So they blow bubbles and yeah, they just bring lots of toys in and make it lots of fun for him. Sure. If we didn't have somewhere like this, I wouldn't have a son today.
Sure.
It is the most rewarding and hard bit sometimes to see, you know, the kids going through these really tough times. You don't get a real picture unless you've seen and heard the parents and what they go through.
With Caleb, hearing his story, it sort of really makes it how something so simple as just wanting to go down like a kid having a bit of fun and playing turns into something so terrible. His whole life's now changed from just one moment. Being a father myself as well, your heart sort of goes out to them, you know, nearly breaks a little bit just seeing what they're going through, and you just want to be able to help, being able to come and have that first-hand experience, yeah, second to none.
The Children's Hospital's burns unit is only the first step for a child recovering from a serious burns injury. Camp Oz is a critical next step that focuses on the recovering children's mental well-being, and it's now on the brink of shutting down. If Dave and his team fail to raise enough funds to support the camp, this could be its last year of operation.
We've brought the boys to the island today to show them the camp. It also means they get to see why we have to work so hard to push ourselves to make sure this is the biggest and best calendar we have ever done.
So guys, this is Meg. Meg's the co-director of the camp.
Hi guys, nice to meet you.
So Meg, what's the camp all about?
Children who had a burn injury, if they maybe had a bit of trouble with during their hospital admission, or if they've got a burn injury which they're going to have a long time of having to have ongoing operations, maybe they're getting a bit of bullying, teasing at school, just having a bit of hard time adjusting to having a scar as a result of their burn injury. So we have it every year, and it really is part part of their recovery.
It all needs to pull.
You wrap it around and then underneath.
So we want to pull that through really tight.
Yep, that's good.
That's fine.
The guys can clearly see the value in the camp, especially a bloke like Ty. He's got 2 kids that are roughly the same age as the ones that we've got here today.
This will be my 5th calendar. The competition is quite fierce these days, and I'm getting a little bit older, and it's a little bit harder to get into that top physical peak, but as my wife continually says, I'm a good-looking rooster, so hopefully we can get in there somewhere. The Firefighters calendar, for me, goes back to my nan, because she loved the Firefighters calendar and supporting good causes. It gives me a little bit of a connection, as she passed away a number of years ago. The work-life balance within the fire service can be a bit tricky sometimes. You know, there's just nothing else in the world apart from your family. I wouldn't be half the man if I didn't meet my wife or have my kids. There's just love. In my career so far, I've been very lucky and had little exposure to serious incidents involving kids, but I can tell you now that nobody in the fire service wants to go to emergency incidents, 1, but 2, deal with kids on road, especially in a burn situation. To see the treatment that the kids go through and the care that is given by the nursing staff and the equipment that's available to them and the research that goes into treating burns, and then to have them come out the other side and enter back into society.
This is why we do it, no other reason, but the hard work's still to come. The photo shoot has got to be fantastic. It's so critical, because if we don't get it right, the burns camp won't go ahead and we won't be able to help the kids.